Hello everybody, Coach Jandy here, and here is today's message. I want to talk to you about comparing, and I want to talk about it in several different factors. One, I want to talk about you trying to compare yourself to those women or men in a magazine, or maybe even somebody that you're dating and their past girlfriend or boyfriend. Let me tell you, there is no comparison, there is no competing, there is no competition because we are all unique within ourselves. If we are trying, first of all, to compete against the men and the women in the magazine, we will lose. Okay? We can't win against Photoshop. There is no way that we can win against Photoshop. And if you're thinking, that is real, then we've got a whole nother conversation to have. So we have to take a look at ourselves and really own our own individual unique personality, our bodies, our minds, and everything that we have to offer, and realize that what you oftentimes see in magazines or on the big screen or the actors and the actresses is not real. Okay, so we have to really realize that there is no comparison. And if you're trying to compete against a memory of an ex-girlfriend or boyfriend of somebody that you're dating, you're not going to be able to compete against that either. We all have unique and individual experiences with a human being. That is their story and their experience together. Hopefully, if you're in a relationship right now, you have the trust that your experience is going to be unique in that relationship, and that it is going to somehow, if it's the right one, it's going to be superior to what has happened in the past. And maybe superior is a bad word, but it's going to be different and unique within itself. And so you have to trust that person, that what they say to you and give to you is their truth, just as you would be doing back to them. So when you start comparing and trying to compete, it gets really dicey because a lot of times we're not going to be able to win that. For instance, another type of comparison that I want to talk about is one that has been sometimes difficult for me. And it's that when people hear my story about my loss, even though they have had a loss, they will say to me, "Oh, but nothing compares to what you've been through." And they start to minimize their experience. Well, I can tell you right now, I don't want you or need for you to minimize your experience and try to make mine better. This is not a competition. Trust me, I don't want to have to compete in the space of how many losses that we have had. So don't try to compare or compete against those kinds of things. At the end of the day, here's the thing, is we have all had loss, we've all had experiences, and we can connect on that. Doesn't matter how many deaths or how many relationship breakups or how many job losses that somebody has had. At the end of the day, it's about the feeling. If I feel loss and grief, and you have had that feeling of loss and grief, then we can connect on that. There is no comparison of the stories. We can understand one another, okay? So I want you to think about that as you go out in the world and really realize that, one, you don't have to compete. This is not a competition. And two, that sometimes people can absolutely understand your point and where you're at, even if they maybe haven't had that experience per se, that exact experience, but it may have come in a different form. So just want you to think about that today as you go out in the world and stop trying to compete, okay? You're beautiful, you are wonderful, you are worthy, you are enough, okay? Set that standard with yourself and know it. Have a good one.